You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 116. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnhart, born on a Monday.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can check out our show, plus plenty of other cool podcasts like the all-new Anti-Fanboy, Super Podcasto Magnifico, and Feed It Comics at rhymeswithgeek.com. And if you like our show, please don't hesitate to subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. So, It's Superman time, and the first issue we've got to talk about today is, I think, the third part in this, like, Superman splitting his identity between, literally, between Clark and Superman, deciding should I be one or the other. And this is Superman number 298, and the story is called Clark Kent, Get Out of My Life. If I could learn to talk, that'd be great.
Oh, great.
Written by Cary Bates and Elliot S. Magan, so it should be extra crappy, but actually it's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah. Penciled by Kurt Swan and inked by Bob Oxner.
We began, and with a panel, we have Lois Lane saying, "You let me into your life, and what happened? Where have you gone?" And then we have a judge saying, or an attorney saying the judge, our star witness Clark Kent isn't here. And then we have Morgan Edge angry that his ratings are bottom. That's pretty cool that Clark Kent is popular.
And this is, in the previous issue, Clark had decided to romance Lois, and he actually, it's implied that they slept together.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got the issue before that.
Yes. So, and also, now Clark is deciding to Superman is deciding to give up being Clark and being Superman full time. And that previous issue, he was being Clark the whole time.
He's got this dream where all these disasters happen. He's holding hands with Lois, and we have someone being hit with a car. We have somebody in a plane crashing, and Clark just doesn't care. Oh, the pity little kid with the kite. At least the kite got away. Goodness. And
what happened with the kite? The kid's kite flew off or something?
The kid was hit by a falling airplane.
Oh, wow.
So, and then somebody is being killed by bad guys, and Clark says, "Oh, I wonder if I can get my shirt on my expense account."
Yeah.
Oh, it's all a dream, because Clark isn't that bad.
No.
Oh man, but his pajamas are. Oh, I just noticed they're polka dot.
Are they like leopard print? I thought.
Are they?
They look really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But he put on in his sleep his Superman outfit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's weird at this because of the things that Mr. Xavier have done to him. He's only super when he wears the suit. Which is strange. So when he's not wearing it and he's just Clark, he's actually vulnerable.
Right. So
there's a flashback of, I guess in the previous issue, he punched out
Steve Lombard.
Yeah.
And he kissed Lois, and he
puts Morgan Edge's cigarette out in a glass of water.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So
as Clark.
Yeah. But Clark decides he will not be Clark anymore. He'll be Superman. Lois comes and knocks on his door, and he runs off. That's it. So Lois thinks he's being kidnapped.
By Intergang, because he's supposed to testify with him. So coincidentally, that kind of covers his butt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess it does. So he said, "I don't want to live. An apartment might be okay for a quiet bachelor, but I'm Superman. I need a fortress of solitude." So
he goes back to the fortress, which is great. Something we haven't seen much at all in these 70's Supermans.
I love the fortress of solitude. Why not?
It's awesome.
Okay. So something's going on. And there's this guy who's Solar Man, we find out later.
Yeah, and he's a Johnny-come-lately supervillain.
Yeah, he hasn't got much power.
But he's got a suit that collects solar energy that gives him powers, kind of like Superman.
Yeah. And Superman,
it's artificial.
His TV is getting bad reception, so he looks into it, and it's solar flare, and Superman takes care of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Solar Man's power has come back, and he's really super strong.
Yeah.
So Superman going around solving crimes and all that.
Yeah.
And here comes the Solar Man taking the money.
Yeah.
And he puts... What is he? He puts a little name. Solar Man was here up in the sky.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's kind of reminiscent of a lot of those one-off Superman villains of the Silver Age.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, with an awful, awful costume.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like it's because it's like the guy invented a suit that collected solar radiation to give himself powers. It's like a prototype.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it looks goofy.
I guess.
So
Superman comes and visits Lois, and he says, "Oh, Clark's okay, so don't worry about it." But Intergang, and he says Intergang may have killed,
maybe after him or kidnapped.
maybe after him, and Intergang is, and they go into Intergang goes into, it sends in an assassin, and there is Xavier, and he kills a guy.
Yeah.
And Xavier's got his arsenal of Superman stuff. I think Superman would have more. Well, I guess Xavier can open up anything because he's a super alien dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
See. So Solar Man goes. I don't know. I am always offended when somebody messes with Superman's statues. How silly! But it really. How dare they?
Right.
It really makes me mad.
Right. Well, it's like now he wants to challenge Superman to make a name for himself, and because he's overconfident about the power of his suit. Well, he fights Superman for a while, and also, first of all, so what's up with statues of people who aren't dead yet?
Well, if you're going to do a statue of someone who's not dead yet, Superman would
Be that
the
person.
top.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember in the Silver Age, even in Smallville, they had statues of Superboy. I thought he was so great. So that makes sense.
If you're a hero, yes, why not?
Okay.
And in ancient Rome, bear in mind they didn't have TV or something like that, so statues was a form of communication. Here's this guy, he's really cool. Look, there's a statue of him.
Oh, wow.
Of course, a lot of times it meant that he had a lot of money, but the people would. Here's this Julius Caesar guy. He's getting kind of powerful, and we have this little town here. So maybe make a statue to Julius Caesar. I almost said Superman to Julius Caesar, and Julius Caesar will like us. So
I get it. So Superman destroys the Superman statue and fights Superman until his suit gets overcharged, and the fight goes on for a while. And his suit gets overcharged by solar radiation and burns out. And then Superman takes his butt to jail.
Yeah.
But that's at the very end of the issue, and that fight goes on for basically the rest of the issue.
And that's the entire plot of Superman, was to make him overdo himself.
Right.
So
we have Superman struggling. Do I retain the dual identity? Can I be one or the other?
Yeah. The world always needed Superman. And now I have concluded whose life is more important to me. That of Superman or Clark Kent. I'll do what I must.
Yeah, and then we don't know because we don't have part 4. But I bet Superman makes the right decision.
Yeah. Oh, which is, I guess, be Superman.
Yeah. Well,
right.
And Clark.
And Clark?
Yeah. Well, obviously. Although we've read comics that came after this.
Oh, yeah, but, when he gets cured, it'll go right back to what he was.
Right.
But no, he's got.
Oh yeah, he still has to confront Mr. Xavier. That hasn't happened yet.
Right.
I don't think he's even discovered him.
Yeah, and Xavier is ready for Bear.
Yeah. So the next book that we've got to talk about is Superman number 301, and the story is called Solomon Grundy Wins on a Monday. Written by Jerry Conway, who really revitalized Superman, I feel. Him and Martin Pasco's stories are really kind of like, this is much better than the Bates and Magan period by far. And penciled by Jose Luis Garcia-Lopez, inked by Bob Oxner. So.
Okay. We begin. Let's see. Well, Superman's saving the day.
Yeah.
And then we go to, okay.
In outer space, I think near Earth 2, or in a limbo between Earth 1 and Earth 2, Solomon Grundy is in he is trapped in a prison created for him by, well, the Green Lanterns of Earth 1 and Earth 2, Hal Jordan, and why am I blanking on that character's name? I can't believe I'm losing all comic cred now. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about, people.
Yeah.
the Golden Age Green Lantern. Grundy comes to think that, wait a sec, if there were 2 Green Lanterns and 2 Flashes and so on, then it stands to reason that there would be another Solomon Grundy. So he somehow finds a way to escape this prison and journeys to Earth 1.
And that is his first independent thought. It was the 2 Grundys. And
he's wrong, but it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, Superman beats up some gangsters.
Yeah, from Agents of Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was another terror group operating in DC Comics. So,
the good guys are bad guys. Okay.
They're bad guys.
Okay, so
I wish the audience could see the look I just gave you.
They can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're in Slaughter Swamp. What a great name.
Yeah, and Slaughter Swamp on Earth 2 was just outside the city limits of Gotham City. And you know the origin of Solomon Grundy. He was a guy named Cyrus Gold who was murdered and his body dumped in Slaughter Swamp. And some magical transmogrification took place, and he became Solomon Grundy. But he had no memory of being Cyrus, and he came upon some hobos, and all he knew about himself was he was born on a Monday, and so they called him Solomon Grundy after the nursery rhyme. So.
Yeah, he's super powerful and super dumb.
Yeah, he's like a zombie Hulk.
Yeah, or a stupid version of Bizarro.
I don't know if he's... yeah. I don't know, because he's stupid, but he's not all backwards like Bizarro.
Right.
Bizarro would be reasonably intelligent if he wasn't all mixed up.
Right.
Yeah, being an imperfect duplicate of Superman. But Grundy as a zombie Hulk, I like it because he's always Grundy.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So, we have an interlude. Let's see. What's Steve Lombard brings in this really cute girl, and who is a groupie for Clark Kent, and which really makes Steve mad.
Yeah.
Now, Clark doesn't even know what to do with a girl like that. I do, but none of them ever comes after me. I wonder why.
Couldn't be because he's such a charming, nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so Grundy is on Earth 1 now, and he's in the middle of Metropolis. He's on a rampage. He's looking for the other Solomon Grundy that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so Superman's got to fight him. It's pretty...
And, of course, Superman is on the air. So, as Clark Kent.
Right.
So what does he do? He dresses... I think he dresses Steve Lombard up like himself.
And then hypnotizes Steve into thinking he is Clark.
Yeah.
So that...
weird.
It's really weird.
And we talked about this episodes back, and why don't you use a robot?
Yeah.
That was your idea. And says, well, why doesn't? Because they make it too simple, and they do this so it
creates the illusion of tension or drama, and you kind of need it for Superman because he can do so much. Mm-hmm. But I mean, for us to look at it, it's like, why? There's plenty of things for Superman. Problems for Superman to solve without doing the secret identity switcheroo.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's fighting Solomon Grundy, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, Grundy beats his butt.
Yeah.
And he's turning Metropolis into a swamp.
Yeah, because Slaughter Swamp is magical, I guess, and so, and that came with him from the barrier between, or the prison or whatever that was in that existed between Earth 1 and Earth 2. So, I don't know, there's some magical thing going on there.
So they show Superman dressing Steve Lombard up as Clark Kent.
And hypnotizing him.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Indeed.
But this fight with Solomon Grundy is excellent.
Yeah.
It's great to see Superman just cut loose and just brawling.
Yeah, and people giving Superman trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes on, and they go. Superman takes him out of the land where he's going to. Solomon has more power, and he dumps in the water, and Solomon Grundy grabs his anchor chain and pulls a ship over, and or about to, and Superman said, "I'm going to use my brains instead of my brawn," and then uses his head to break the anchor chain.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun. I don't know.
So then, wait, what? The other Grundy does show up.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. And he tricks Grundy into leaving or going somewhere with him. And they fly to the moon, and haha, it's Superman. He tricked him. And so he just leaves Solomon Grundy on the moon.
Yeah, it's just kind of mean, but what else can he do?
Yeah. It is kind of mean.
Yeah. But you cannot have Solomon Grundy living on Earth without, and he's going to get out of any jail they can find.
Right.
He got out of the Green Lantern jail. If he can get out of that, he can get out of anything.
Yeah, and chances are, obviously, he's going to find a way off the moon. But it'll take him a while, so this is a pretty good stopgap. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I enjoyed that issue. It was...
Yeah. There's no Secret Life of Clark Kent. Oh,
dang.
But yeah, it was not bad.
All right. So the next issue we've got to talk about, and I think it's our wrapping up for Superman for today, is Superman number 304, and the story is called "The Parasite's Prism of Peril," written by Jerry Conway, penciled by Kurt Swan, and inked by Bob Oxner. So it's the Parasite showing up again, and I really enjoy this character. He's a great villain. Again, another guy that can actually give Superman a fight, a fist fight.
Maybe his most dangerous because he can get his power from him.
And he can siphon it off indefinitely, I think. So, but then again, Superman's capacity for absorbing solar radiation is also fairly infinite. So, and ongoing. So, but yeah, Parasite's a good match. So,
let's see. The first splash panel has a list of characters. John Ross, I know him. I'm not sure what he is.
John Ross is the son of Pete Ross, who was Superman's friend from Smallville. The only person, civilian person, who knows his secret identity, and Superman doesn't know that. And then John Ross knows too.
Yeah. Then we got these other people who we never seen before, and never will again, except for the Parasite.
Right.
Dr. Janet Clyburn. No, it's Jeanette.
Yes.
Eddie Foyle. And
Moose McElroy. McElroy.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So, here we have Superman getting blasted by a laser.
And it's at Star Labs.
Like something's going wrong.
Yeah. Superman was just visiting Star Labs with his friend, John Ross. Waka Waka. Okay.
And Superman gets really blasted by the laser, and he's red hot, so he tells the other people to stay away.
Yeah.
And then the laser shoots off a beam, and it hits. He's with John Ross and Janet. And so they got blasted by some laser, but it didn't really hurt them, just tickled.
Yeah.
The Parasite's nearby, and the Parasite got some of the energy from the laser beam. He's got this, the Prism of Power.
Yeah.
A big, huge, ugly prism hung around his neck. Yeah.
It's a bit like, I think this is almost like a comment on a new agey kind of thing, like put crystals around your neck.
Yeah.
But anyway, he can channel power through this prism that he has, and I think other people get some superpower that he absorbed, and that's kind of what's going on in the story. That's those other people that were in that sidebar on the splash panel are conduits for it, and that's why we see them throughout the issue.
Yeah.
So.
Alright, so people start acting weird. John Ross trips Lois. And
he's a kid. I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah, he's a young
Oh yeah, he's the son of Pete Ross.
Oh,
Okay.
he's jealous of Lois because he's taking attention from Clark Kent.
Mm.
But does he know that? Does John Ross know? Hold on.
He does.
Oh, he does know. And Superman told him.
Yeah, which is weird.
But his father, he thinks his father doesn't know. And but his father does know.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So okay, we got a security guard, and when you see a security guard, you know they're the lowest form of life on this planet.
Hey, yeah, you are just laughing it up because I am a security guard. That's my job.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, it's a thankless task. But
let me tell you, it is such a good job.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm glad. But okay, so the security guard gets all mad and super and mean, and he gets a hate destroy. So he destroys a helicopter.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I guess the prism is also affecting people's emotions and decisions too.
Right, driving them crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's Clark. He's during the newscast.
Mm-hmm.
And so what does he do? Oh, he's got to go because the super being's attacking. So he takes out the electricity of the whole building. And then he escapes. Which is...
People would get hurt.
Yeah. People are in elevators.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else is in there. It could be some kind of...
Whenever there's
labs.
blackouts, people get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially in a city. So, way to go, Superman.
Yeah, and then... Wouldn't they have a backup generator?
Yeah.
Especially if it happens once. So.
Right. So, we have a Twinkie alert.
Yes.
If the host is Cupcake or Twinkie... Oh, it is. No, actual Twinkies.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Aquaman.
Yeah, we've seen this before, and it's so cool. These people are in the kelp fields of Aquaman's kelp fields, and
Aquaman and Mera are there.
They're going to kick their butts because they think they're messing. Oh, we didn't mean to mess up your kelp field. We're just bringing Twinkies to Atlantis.
So Aquaman rides over on a giant seahorse.
Yeah.
And takes the Twinkies, it gives them Twinkies, beats them up, something. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So back to our story, the Parasite. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Going against Superman. Oh, so Superman's flying with John Ross, and the Parasite sends some power to the kid, and the kid socks Superman in the face.
By accident. The Parasite does not know he's doing this.
Oh, that's right. I think the prism just helps him control the power better, but it's having this other effect. That's right. And so now Superman and the Parasite are duking it out. Now they're finally met.
And Parasite is really powerful, and it's a huge fight. And Superman's kind of worried because he barely defeated him last time. Now he's even stronger.
Yeah.
And then Parasite has trouble. It's the prism is hurting him. Oh, and here's Jenna. She gets super mean too, and she beats up Superman. And here's Moose, I guess.
Who's a construction worker.
Yeah, he gets super mean. And Parasite throws a
girder at him.
Yeah, a big old I-beam.
Yeah, and it just doesn't hurt Moose. And so then Superman figures out what's going on. Took you long enough.
Yeah. And Parasite is getting weak because he's sharing his power, and the power is weakening him. And the power, it goes to another person.
Oh, it's diluted. Yeah, okay. So Superman keeps on fighting the Parasite.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So then the Parasite blows up, and I guess he'll be back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's come back after that. But
yeah. So all the people are being examined by Janet
at Starlab.
And they figured out that everybody's okay. No one has any superpower except for Superman. And Jenna says, I don't like having a superpower. But she was really mad and out of her mind.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But it's okay. Not great. But,
yeah,
I do like the Parasite, though.
Okay. So, I got a little... before we really carry on, I want to talk about... Jeff, you remember King Features Syndicate, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're still in operation. They're like the #1 newspaper comic strip syndicate. And, they, of course, had Popeye and Beetle Bailey and Blondie and Flash Gordon. Flash! And the Phantom and Mandrake and, and Prince Valiant. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, okay, so they, for many years, and still are, a big powerhouse as far among the syndicates, even though they're shrinking. For a time, they licensed some of their properties to Dell and Gold Key, and they put out comics of King Features properties. And I don't know if some were original and some were reprints, but then for a couple years, in 1967 and 68, King Features decided, you know what, we're going to get in the comic book business and put out comics of all these of our major properties. And they did that for a couple years under the imprint King Comics. And then they stopped doing it, and instead of returning the rights to put out comic books of those characters to Dell and Gold Key, they handed it over to Charlton, who carried on many of the same titles that King Comics had put out. Now, fast forward to the 70's, the King imprint is briefly revived for a series called The King Reading Library. And these comics were distributed exclusively in schools. And they featured, King Features Syndicate characters in comic book form. And this is just meant as a reading aid for children who are having trouble reading. And that's what we're going to talk about. We have the King Reading Library number R-08, but I'm just going to call it number 8. And it's weird, though, because this is the King Comics imprint, but it is printed by Charlton Comics in Derby, Connecticut. So it's kind of a Charlton comic.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, anyway, this story leads off with Prince Valiant, Hal Foster.
Yeah, it's well drawn. I love the way he does chainmail. I don't know what he does, but it's just really cool looking.
Yeah.
It's
Hal Foster was a great artist.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of weirdly done. There's a picture, and then there's something that explains what's going on in each panel.
Well, that's how Prince Valiant always goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like comics in the strictest sense. It'll be like a picture with a caption on the bottom or the dialogue. Mm. They never have balloons in Prince Valiant.
Yeah, it's interesting, and it kind of makes it a really different comic book.
Yeah.
Seeing it out of its, and I still read Prince Valiant today. It's not great, but it's, I don't know.
It's the only adventure strip that's still around, really. At least
getting Gil Thorpe. And Mary Worth.
Right. Well, and I guess in other cities, I'm just speaking of Portland, Oregon. Yeah. Other cities, they still have like Spider-Man and different things.
Yeah, and Phantom, man.
Oh man, Lee Falk's Phantom is cool.
It's he always had the Phantom, and have a little asterisk, the ghost who walks.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
It's so square. It's great.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
It's really bad. I had a pile of Gold Key and Charlton Phantom issues that I turned around and sold without reading and without us doing on the show, which is a pity.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. The thing is, Prince Valiant, what I'm reading today, and Phantom and all that, was the older. I mean, it was the newer ones. The older ones, they haven't been super great. And, was Snuffy Smith funny when they first started out?
I don't know.
And, I don't know either. And the original Popeye is 1,000 times better than it was. And lately, I'm not sure if it's still out, but...
I don't think so.
The last ones are just... bleh.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, so... Valiant beats up the Vikings, and we just see the end of the battle, and the Viking king gives up. He puts him on a ship, gives him a lot of food, and go off and say, hey, Prince Valiant's men say, hey, we don't have much food. We'll go to a place where there is food. Alright, so they go to another place, there's lots of food. Prince Valiant checks out the area, and he sees this a storm coming up. So he gets under this rock, and
the Vikings hid their arsenal under this rock.
No, not the Vikings.
Oh, the
Saxons.
The Saxons, right? My bad.
So he discovers it. So he goes back to his buddies. Hey, we've got a huge arsenal here, and they explain what arsenal is. I was
certain words are like highlighted and defined because this is intended for kids. This specifically is intended to kids to help them read. Mm-hmm. So
knights, what soldiers were called in olden days.
Man,
arsenal, a place where weapons are kept.
Yeah.
So they said what we're going to do is going to burn them up and melt the steel into the sand because you get a really hot temperature. Sure. Steel melts.
I don't know why they didn't just take the weapons.
No, then they'd have, because it's enough weapons for 1,000. I was thinking this too.
Okay.
Swords and weapons are heavy.
Yeah.
They've already got their weapons.
Oh, and they got it. Yeah, okay. They need room on their ship for provisions.
Yeah, I think they're on their horses and carrying stuff.
Okay. So it would be impractical to try and take it, is what we're saying. Okay. So Prince Val goes and meets with the Saxon prince or whatever who wants to wage war.
He's got an attitude.
Of course.
And he is unarmed, which is okay. The Saxons are unarmed, so because they hid their weaponry. Mm-hmm. But no one would have said boo if you go someplace with your weapons. I mean, if you're brandishing them, but if you just had them in your scabbard and all that, you're expected to. It's a dangerous time.
Right.
You just didn't go around without weapons. And so, I don't know what his plan is. Oh, I'm going to trick these people and think we're peaceful because we don't have any weapons. It's kind of a dumb idea.
Right.
So, Valiant says, 3 days, get out of Dodge.
Right. Stay out of Riverdale.
Yeah. Yep. So the Saxons said, we'll show them. They'll give us plenty of time to get a weapon. So they go and get their weapons, and the thing's on fire, and it's really hot, and they're all consternated.
Right.
The Prince Valiant comes around and surrounds them, and he's got his arms. So the guy surrenders, and he leaves. And so Valiant sends off a letter to King Arthur and Lancelot, and they say, "Oh, he did a good job." So Valiant's coming back and going to meet his wife, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So the next story in this book is Flash Gordon and the Sea Beast with Flash. So yes, and this was written by Archie Goodwin with art by Frank Boll. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about this.
All right. Okay, Flash is in this cool ship, and he gets hit by lightning.
Yeah, and he's with Dale and Dr. Zarkov, right?
Yeah,
they're with him. Yeah. Okay.
So the ship crashes, and they get picked up by a submarine.
Yeah.
That looks like it's from 1945, but actually there are submarines that look better than that in 1945, but
oh well.
It looks like a World War II German U-boat.
Okay.
So they turn out to be pirates.
And because the leader has the skull and crossbones on his shirt.
Yeah, that.
But they have these cool. They look like officers' uniforms. So they don't look like. You know how pirates look kind of scruffy and stuff. These guys don't.
Yeah, they got nice uniforms and all that. So they capture them and they go down into the deep, and
a giant eel attacks the sub.
Yeah, an electric eel.
Yeah, of course. And so it shorts out it's gonna short out some of the circuitry. So the bad guys have to agree to let Flash and Dale and Zarkov go if Zarkov will fix the ship. Mm-hmm. But
so they defeat the eel, and
Flash shoots it in the face or in the eye.
Yeah,
because they go topside.
Yeah, they shoot it with a big old the deck gun.
Yeah. So one of the pirate leader was gonna be true to his word, but then one of his men decides to mutiny, and then there's a big fight with Flash.
Yeah, and Flash takes the deck gun and just swirls around and bashes people, which probably happens all the time. That's when
sure.
It's especially in Three Stooges movies.
Yeah.
But then the pirate captain's really happy. He says, "Well, yeah, y'all can go. Here's your boat. You can go. But I'm taking Dale Gordon." What's your name? Dale?
Arden.
Arden. They haven't married yet, for crying out loud.
Anyway.
So, but...
It's more exciting if you rescue your girlfriend than your wife.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know why, but it is.
Yeah. So he's going to keep Dale. And Zarkov and Flash said, we knew you were going to do this, so we took your controls, so we won't be able to sell you stuff. So, he had to give it back. And he was a good sport about it.
Yeah.
Not a bad little issue.
Yeah, that's fun. So, and then the third and final story in this issue, it's Brick Bradford. Now, Brick Bradford was a syndicated strip created, and in this, drawn by Paul Norris, who was the creator of Aquaman. And Paul Norris, I think he co-created Aquaman with Mort Weisinger, but I think he gets sole creator credit now. But although Norris created Aquaman, he only did like the first 10 stories in comics because he had a contract with the syndicates that said you can't be doing comic book work on the side. You have to just work for the syndicate only. Yeah, but at that time, the syndicate money was so much better. He said okay, and so that ended his career in comic books proper. And he just did strip work after that. But Brick Bradford ran for a while, and people remember it. I guess he's kind of a Flash Gordon-y, Buck Rogers-y hero. This story is time travel. He's got a balloon that's a time travel balloon. Yeah,
it's kind of goofy.
So
this kid wants to go. I guess it's Brick Bradford's young friend.
Yeah.
And hey, I want to take some pictures of dinosaurs. So they go back and they take pictures of dinosaurs. And he wants to sell.
I don't think he's a kid. He looks like an adult.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just stupid, I guess.
Okay. Stupid like a kid.
Yeah. So they count that. Okay. So then they see cavemen, which is bad. I don't like cavemen with dinosaurs unless there's a reason for it. But it's just, I don't know. It's silly. Who cares? It's a comic book, but it messes me up. So they come back. Oh, they hit the wrong year. They're in World War I, and here's Red Baron going after them.
Yeah.
So then they...
I love the idea of a hot air balloon that's a time machine. It's so dumb, it's kind of cool.
Okay, I see your point.
Yeah.
So...
you know what'd be interesting time machine? A police call box.
Yeah. No, that'd be stupid. That'd be lame.
Oh, man. So anyway.
So they come back to whatever time they're living in, and we don't really know much about anybody here. They don't.
It's only like a 4 or 5 page story,
right? And no one will buy the photos because they think they're fakes. And if they wanted money or something like that, why not just, hey, rich guy, buy a ticket and we'll take you back to the past. If I was rich, I would spend money on that.
Yeah. But maybe it's a secret or something.
But then he's trying to sell photos.
Well, maybe Brick knew that whatever, no one's going to believe you, but didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I admit there are holes in this plot. Okay.
Okay, but...
So, that was fun. Did you have anything else? Should we just end the show abruptly?
It's staggering, stunning, even me.
Okay.